Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, the 5th of June. I want to talk about whether or not we have forgotten who we are. Because that is another thing you are being told. You come into this world and you forget who you are. This world traps you and it makes you forget who you are. And many, again, are running with that as a truth. Yeah, I don't know who I am. I need to search for myself somewhere, preferably in a different dimension. Self is not here. There's a higher self that is somewhere completely different. And I need to go in search of it somewhere out there. And you're running past the truth. Because yourself is here. And you can know it. If you separate knowledge, Jesus said, what is born of flesh is flesh, and what is born of spirit is spirit. So if you separate the two, you see yourself, your true self. In this experience, let's go with pain as an example, the experience of pain. There is bodily pain. Yeah, if you run against something and you stomp your foot, that is of the flesh. Yeah, and it is really the machine, the biological machine, that is damaged and therefore hurting. It expresses itself, the damage expresses itself as pain. That is one thing, but then there's psychological pain. And that is actually spirit. Psychological is spirit. It is already something that cannot be seen. It is not physical in that sense. Or really solid. Let's say it like this. It's not really solid. We're already going into the spiritual. Psychological pain is not pain caused to the body. It's pain caused, or it's not pain caused because there's damage to the body. It's pain caused because there's damage to the spirit. It's damage to the self. So, but again, yourself is here because you are feeling the psychological pain. You're feeling it here. You're aware of it here, not somewhere else. And it really is a case of psychological pain, that is the pain of the spiritual pain, can become that strong that it actually manifests in the body. And to be quite honest, by the time it is manifesting in the physical, that is really your final warning. To really show you something is going wrong. Again, do not ignore it. There is something happening and that something is wrong. So you should be aware of that. So, really, between lower self and higher self, between the biological machine and the soul, the spirit, that is having the experience. And that is just it. You know, when you say, I'm not the body, I'm just having the experience, then that's what you're saying. I am that which is having the experience. So you are not the experience, but the reaction to it. How you judge the experience, that is you. That is your higher self, that is your true self, that is spirit. And to be quite honest, we have spirit, we have a self from the moment we get here. Yeah, from a baby, child, adult, we are individual selves. Does not mean, well, we're also individual bodies, but we are individual selves. We have likes and dislikes from the start. There's stuff babies like and babies don't like. And they are very much individuals pretty much from the beginning. No baby that you have is going to be the same. No child that you have is going to be the same. No person is the same. So if we are born with that from the start, then it was something that was there before. It existed before. Because even from birth, there's not enough time for it to develop. Within a few months or something like that, it doesn't. It is starting to come through. The truth is starting to come through. The truth of yourself is starting to express itself through the machine. But it was there before. So, yes, it is your reaction to what is happening. Your reaction to the experience is the individual you. How you feel, and here it is how you feel about it. Again, there's two kinds of feeling. There's a feeling, the physical feeling that is from the machine, from the biological machine. You bang your head against something, you feel pain. But again, born out of the physical. But there is another feeling, another kind of feeling that is born out of spirit. And that's not just bad, that is good and bad. That is your true self. And I've just heard somebody say, what I thought or what I felt a year ago has changed, may no longer be valid. And here is, has itself actually changed? I feel differently than I did a year ago, let's say like that. Has the self changed? Or was it in the light of new information that was brought to you by the five senses, or by hearing stuff, by seeing stuff? You find yourself in a new situation. Therefore, you feel differently. Does that mean yourself has changed? The situation has changed. Has yourself changed, or is it still truth? That is now, it seems like it has wavered, but it hasn't. It's just confronted with a new situation. It hasn't changed. Your truth has not changed. Yourself has not changed. So I think, yes, we absolutely know ourselves. We're just looking for it in the wrong place. As I said, we're being directed to look for it somewhere else. Out there. We're running straight past ourselves into infinity and beyond. So we become aware of how we feel about things. Is a greater knowledge of self. Yeah, and it's and here comes that from birth, even in societies, you're being asked to feel about things in a certain way because it serves the system. And if you feel about something, doing something, the system says you must do this because it serves the system, and that is mostly the physical. Yeah, the physical system. You must do something because it serves the physical system. But then if you feel that you don't want to do this, or you feel there's something wrong with doing this, then you're required to change your feeling in order to serve the system. And that means you're going up against your own truth, because how you feel about it is you. So you must change in order to serve the system. And in the end, here's the thing, can we change? Can we change how we feel about things? I mean, not created through a change in the situation, but faced with one situation, the situation remains unchanging. Can you then change how you feel? And I don't think you can, because that is you. The only thing you can do is suppress how you feel, which causes pain, which causes psychological, spiritual pain, because you are going up against your true self. You're suppressing your true self. You're beating your true self into acquiescence. You're causing harm to yourself. So no, I don't think the self can change. How you feel about things will not change, because that is you, that is your truth. You can beat it into acquiescence, and if you do that long enough and hard enough, you will lose yourself, you will kill yourself. There are those that say, well, the soul can't die. Yes, it can. Absolutely, the soul. I say, we're saying in the spirit, it is not physical, but it is still a form, an energetic form, let's say like that. It is still a form. Consciousness is a form. And whatever is in form can die. The only thing that is eternal is the energy out of which the form is created, consciousness is created. That is eternal. But consciousness itself is not. Yeah, so to say we can do whatever we like and, well, it's okay, the life is eternal. The soul is eternal. No, it's not. And you are affecting your soul by what you're doing here. You are not separated. You're absolutely not separated. So, yes, as below, so above. You know, it will, what you're doing here will reverberate into the other levels. And it will affect them. It will affect your soul. Now, so having this experience actually reveals who you are. This is the revelation of yourself. Through the experience, you're becoming aware of how you feel about things, which shows you yourself. Yes, so being here, you absolutely know, you should know who you are. Now, as I said, we're being born into this world with already a self, with likes and dislikes from the start. So where that these likes and dislikes came from? I'd say previous experiences. Again, people say, I do not remember who I was in a previous life. I most certainly don't. So I don't know who I am. What you do not remember is the form, the vehicle through which you had the experience, or what situation the vehicle was in. You don't remember that. But I would say the realization of self, whatever came to you, you know, how you felt about it, that knowledge stays with you. And I would say once you know it, once there is a knowing, it cannot be unknown. So you are illuminating the knowledge of yourself through lifetimes. And whatever is illuminated in one lifetime will stay with you in the next. So then to be fully illuminated would mean you know yourself completely. Most are not illuminated to the knowledge of self. It's there, it exists, but they don't know themselves. And then they say, I've forgotten. No, it's here. You just need to see it. What self actually is in this world. Which part of it is you, yourself. Now, last thing I want to think about, and that is how these knowledges get illuminated in us. And that is really to the extent that we're opening ourselves up to the experience, that is to the amount that we let it in. The deeper we feel, or the more we feel, the stronger the experience will be, and probably the strongest experiences are those that will stay with you. There is what I would call surface level experiences. You know, they come and go, but they do not really enter into you and form your knowledge of yourself. There's a lot of surface level experiences where we do not allow ourselves to become that attached that we feel very deeply. And it's only that experience that will really give you a knowledge of yourself. There's head knowledge. There's things you learn in this world. And I would say that is something that will not stay with you because it didn't enter in deep. It was only in your head. It was things you thought about. Thoughts will not stay with you. Only what you deep down know, and for that you need to let the experience in, energetically in, to your own energy body, to illuminate a knowledge of yourself. At the moment, there was a thought, and that really made me angry, and that is those that have detached from the experience. Basically, they say we're no longer playing the game. We're sitting on the sidelines. We're becoming the observers. And then saying that they are on a higher level of knowledge, whereas the plebs are idiots for playing the game. And for some reason, I don't know how, those that are involved, again, they are involved with what is going on. Not just physically, but energetically involved with what is going on. They've become the non-players. Whereas those sitting on the sidelines are now the true players. I mean, how does that work? Yeah, those that sit on the sidelines are not the players. Those that are on the field playing the game are the players. They are the ones that are having the experience. They are the ones that through the experience feel the elation, and they also experience the pain. They are the ones that know. They are the ones that are having the experience. They are the ones that know. The observer does not know. You cannot know yourself through observation of others, or purely through observation of others. If you don't experience it yourself, you do not know. That is not knowledge. That is detaching from knowledge. Again, the whole thing is back to front. The way it's taught at the moment is completely back to front. And it is in the experience, again, how much do we open ourselves up to the experience? And opening yourself up to the experience is opening yourself up to others, because that is how the experience is created, by all the different parts that play a part in the experience. Creator is not just one thing. Creator is all of its parts. You play with the other parts. You're opening yourself up to the other parts. That deepens the experience. Again, those that are detaching to go on the sidelines, they no longer have the experience. They reject the experience, mostly maybe out of fear of pain. You don't want to get too deeply involved because it will cause you pain. It quite often does. True enough. But then there's the saying, no pain, no gain. If you don't allow yourself to become deeply involved for a true knowledge, you won't have that knowledge. You can't get it by being an observer. Another thing, if you are an observer, that's actually, you're watching others doing something and you say, well, that looks like fun. They are having fun. Great, I want to experience this. And then you do what they're doing, and to you, it's not fun at all. So from the point of the observer of others, you did not know yourself. When you do it yourself and you find it's not fun, then you know yourself. But you have to do it to know. And as I said, how deeply do we let the experience in? Or do we close ourselves off from it? As a surface experience, observer experience, I don't think that stays with you. The only truth that stays with you is what you have deeply experienced. And for that, you really must say that I am only a part. I am a distinct part, a self, a distinct self that is having the experience. Yeah? And then to say, I am all there ever was and ever will be, and this world is an illusion, and it doesn't matter, and there's nothing this world can teach me. It drives you away from realizing yourself, your truth. It drives you away from seeing your truth. You are not all. That's the whole point. You are not all. You are a very distinct something. What is it you are? And it is just that. It is how you feel about it. That is who you are. And if you stand back from it, not allowing yourself, closing yourself off from the experience, not allowing yourself to feel, to have the experience, then you are becoming the observer of your own life. But then you do not know. It's only through the experience that you know. And you don't know it all. Every lifetime will give you a different experience that will illuminate another knowledge of who it is you are. But then we grow through lifetimes. Through the experience of lifetimes, we grow. And we become a self. And again, through the knowledge of self, knowing others. Yeah? Because it takes one to know one. And then really respect yourself, value yourself. Respect yourself. Respect your own truth. And if you see it in others, respect theirs. Don't do unto others what you don't want to be done to yourself. It's as simple as that. So, have we forgotten who we are? No, we haven't. We're looking for the self in the wrong place. Somewhere out there. We have not defined what constitutes self. You're looking for something that you have no definition of. You're not going to find it. I am not the experience. No, you are the reaction to the experience. That is yourself. No other person will feel the same way as you do about things. Exactly the same way. That is your individual self. And it is not a case that we must all be the same because Creator is one. Wrong. Creator is all possibilities. He is the creator of diversity. He is the creator of possibilities, possible parts of himself. And you are one of those parts. An individual self. And that is the truth of Creator. Not that we're all the same or we're all that ever was and ever will be, that we need to detach from creation to know Him. Detached from creation, you don't know yourself. The only thing that is there is the energy that created it all. It is the energy that created consciousness, but you are the consciousness. And by returning back to the energy, you are losing consciousness. You're losing yourself. And that is not greater awareness, because there needs to be a self to be aware. There's nothing there, nothing knows, and nothing can be known. Anyway, here folks, I hope that made sense, and I leave it at that for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.